Hello and welcome. Today I will be investigating all 10 of Prince Harry's ex-girlfriends prior to Meghan Markle. I am of the opinion that all his partners are male to female transgenders, and I will show you why I think this to be the case. These reported 10 ex-partners are from a recent article on harpersbazaar.com. Now, for anyone new to the channel, there are various ways to spot if somebody is a transgender. Some are obvious and some more difficult. The ease of identifying these signs in many cases will be dependent on things like their current age, their gender transition age, hormone levels, augmentation, which we can speak about later, and surgeries. Feminization of the body plus the clever use of clothing. But if a person's shoulders are wider than their hips in adulthood, then this demonstrates a male physique. Of course, some of you will already be aware of famous trans celebrities, but not all trannies look like drag queens. One trans male to female managed to convince judges in a Spanish national beauty contest before finally admitting who he really was. A good deception, after all, has to be convincing.
And a lie, Mr. Mulder, is most convincingly hidden between two truths.
The point is that the first thing to look for is whether the shoulders are wider than their hips, because again, this is the anatomy of a male. This is Hollywood actress Jennifer Garner, and what you'll notice first is how wide the shoulders are to the hips. What woman do you know shares this shape? It's not a genetic difference, it's a gender difference. Notice also LeAnn Rimes with the same physiology, and at the same time demonstrating the hip bone there is below the belly button. So let's start the investigation. Number 1, Natalie Pinkham, dated Harry 2003. I'm glad this is the first on the list because this is the best example. Not only do these photos show the shoulders wider than the hips, but look at the position of the hip bone and tell me that this is correct for a female. In addition, high muscle definition and low body fat that is not healthy for a woman. Just the physical development of this body, the shoulders are angled down, but the collarbones are straight across just as you would see on a man. Finally, without augmentation of the hip area to widen the shape, the male torso forces these people to pose either by slanting to the side to create the illusion of curves, crossing the legs, and they also and always place their hands on their hips. If slim was desirable, why cover it up? Why do they try and change it in every photo? I know the reason, and I hope this video helps you to see that too. The secrecy of being trannies would last 5 minutes if we didn't see them partner up and having a family, but that has been looked at in a previous video. The important realization is that these people and their anatomy is not female, and that is so important to remember when looking at this highly feminized image, certainly in this person's case. Number 2, Cassie Sumner, dated 2004. I'll race through some of those that are not so well known or who I couldn't find enough photos for. Again, not much on this person. Camera angles and baggy dresses make it difficult to be scientific, but I think these are large shoulders, wider than the hips, and scooching them up in these poses does not change that. Clearly a large person, and from what I can see, highly suspect. Number 3, Chelsea Davy, dated 2004 to 11. Again, limited photos to show on the body, but shoulders are wider than the hips. Difficult from the camera angles, and I've spoken about it before about beach photos are notoriously doctored. It doesn't mean I wouldn't use them in a video, but I would always add a note of caution, as I'd say that about any trans investigation in general. Always think for yourself. No one photo should be enough proof. So here's a more recent facial photo, I think feminized with makeup, but you can see the classic tranny jaw has now developed. Aging will show these people for what they are, and thanks to the testosterone kicking in, usually when they get into their 30s. There's young Harry pointing to everyone he's trying to dupe, and Chelsea telling him that she's a tranny, and Harry replying, "That's the reason I'm going out with you." Number 4, Astrid Harbour, dated 2009. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Not much in the way of photographic evidence, clearly an older person and noticeably not showing the facial signs of the masculine gender. Careful use of fashion and clothing, posing with the shoulders turned outward to muddy the waters, but in this next photo it shows the shoulders are wider on this forward facing shot, covering the hip area once again. Number 5, Caroline Flack, also dated 2009, very famous in the UK as a presenter and a recent winner of the UK version of Dancing with the Stars called Strictly Come Dancing. As always, careful use of fashion and hands in the all-important hip area, winding the stance with hands in the pockets to add shape. I realise this person is highly feminised and to many highly convincing and desirable to a heterosexual male, but there is enough evidence here, in my opinion, to prove unnervingly perhaps, but this is a tranny. Number 6, Camilla Romestrand, dated 2010, not a great number of photos, similar poses, similar low body fat, similar shoulder to hip. Bit of a consistent theme so far, and this arguably shows a straight male back with a very wide bony shoulder sticking out. Used a lot in fashion and movies to indicate female beauty, something that real women will be unable to obtain, but this look just indicates to people like myself that this is a male. Number 7, Florence Brundell, dated 2011. Again, not a great amount of evidence. I'd never heard of a lot of these people before, so it's all new to me. The most clothed bare picture available, but she is angling to the side and surprisingly placing the entire forearm so we can't see what will be a right angled leg to torso, just like all the others. Number 8, Casa de Bonas, dated 2012 to 14, must be posh with a name like that. Same body proportions as number 7, but most noticeably is the wide squareness of the jaw and large masculine skull. Some of these photos will have been taken in different years. As this person has aged, the masculine vibe is quite evident to me. Number 9, Molly King. I thought about doing a separate video on this person, and you can see why. Dated 2012, famous in the UK as part of the girl group The Saturdays, and recently was on UK TV with Strictly Come Dancing. Where to begin? Clearly the body is a straight up and down male torso. All the same moves and looks, but it does not change anything. On the cover of Women's Health, he should be ashamed of himself, promoting that unobtainable body image to impressionable young people when they're at their most vulnerable. The face is very masculine. I watched this person dancing when on Strictly Come Dancing, and it was clear to see that this one is not going to age and be able to maintain the illusion, certainly to the extent that we'll not see this person on TV, but weirder things have happened. And finally, number 10, Ellie Goulding, famous as a singer of some very catchy songs, I think globally well known as well. Sadly, that is the only good thing I can say about this person. Dated in 2016, still looks quite young, but no hips. All the same poses, very masculine body, with the same proportions as the previous 9. I'll let you decide on the ring finger and forefinger ratio. I'd say the ring finger is longer in this photo, a male trait. The dresses are all designed to accommodate the male to pass itself off as female. The back is straight, with no lower curve. If just one of these people had hips, then it would make my videos less convincing. Some might say that this is his preference, but again, it's not a preference you can have as a heterosexual male, because real women cannot have this shape. Hip augmentation that I mentioned earlier is a way to add fake hips. This can be done with padding, just as it can be done with breasts and backsides. However, when this is done permanently with the injection of fat cells, it will still look odd to people who know what to look for, but it does mean a key and convincing piece of evidence has just been taken away. So why would all celebrities, obsessed with their appearance, not have this done? Well, maybe they just prefer not to, but my own personal opinion or view is that the majority are in the public view to promote this false body image, which is leading our society into a lot of problems. All these people look the same, but they don't look like the rest of us. They are male forward-facing females, if that's the politically correct word for trannies these days. Check these gender differences on yourself and your female friends. If you like this video, please remember to like, share, sub-bell and subscribe. Also, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section and either myself or the very knowledgeable subscribers will be able to answer them if we can. And I will hopefully speak to you again in the next trans investigation. If you are new to the channel, please watch this short video that finally convinced me of what is possible to change a person's gender appearance and voice. Take care, and thanks for watching.
Rainbow Passage. When the sunlight strikes raindrops in the air, they act as a prism and form a rainbow. The rainbow is a division of white light into many beautiful colors. These take the shape of a long round arch, with its path high above, and its two ends apparently beyond the horizon.
Rainbow Passage. When the sunlight strikes raindrops in the air, they act as a prism and form a rainbow. The rainbow is a division of white light into many beautiful colors. These take the shape of a long arch, with its path high above, and its two ends apparently beyond the horizon. There is, according to legend, a boiling pot of gold at one end. People look, but no one ever finds it. When a man looks for something beyond his reach, his friends say he's looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.